On February 24th, 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. And after billions and billions of dollars in US aid and tens of thousands of casualties, it's suspected that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is worth an estimated $596 million. That's right, I said $596 million. And by July 2022, he was on the cover of Vogue magazine. Interesting. Now, he's inviting China and Xi Jinping to rebuild the ruins of Ukraine. Something doesn't add up, and I've got a couple of questions. Ladies and gentlemen, James Lane here, the future king of media, stands before you whether you know it or not. The business plans have been finalized, papers have been signed, something special is coming. But we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about Vladimir Zelensky, we're here to talk about Russia, we're here to talk about China, and we're here to talk about how the wool is being pulled over our eyes. But first, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, go down below, leave a comment, let me know how you like the new format of the show. I know we're a little bit late this week. Like I said before, I apologize. It is what it is, but we have a great show for you tonight. Do me a favor, go on social media across every platform, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Getter, Truth, Gab, all of those apps. Go on there at Uncensored AR, at Uncensored AR. That is our handle. You can follow us on whatever flavor of social media you like. You can find our videos on YouTube, Rumble, Gab TV, BitChute, Odyssey, TikTok. They're all there either at American Reveille, American_Reveille, or Uncensored AR. And the audio version of this podcast, of course, is across every single podcast platform except for what the hell's their name again? I keep forgetting their stupid name because they suck ass. Pandora. Nobody even uses them anymore anyway. Pandora. I've been trying to reach out to Pandora for 2 years, and we've been going back and forth. They're a bunch of assholes. F*** Pandora. I'm not even worried about them, okay? But we're on every single platform besides Pandora. Of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Audible. Look for us where podcasts are found. American Reveille. Reveille. American Reveille Podcast. And again, like, comment, and subscribe. But now we have other problems to discuss. You and I, we have other problems to discuss because we have the enemy at our doorstep. All right, the enemy at our doorstep. Now, you may think that I'm about to go off on a rant about World War III. No, when I say the enemy at our doorstep, I mean the enemy is in our government. The enemy is in our Congress. The enemy is in our Senate. We sit there, we trust these politicians. We trust these alphabet agencies. Meanwhile, they hide evidence about Hunter Biden. They cover up for each other in their old boys club, and they spend day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, dollar after dollar, 10, 20, a million, a billion, $1 trillion. When I was a kid, our debt was what, 1 trillion? Now it's 30. They spend all that money. And do you know what they're doing? They spend it to f*** you and me, the little guy. That's what they do. And instead of us looking at them, they create situations. They do certain special things. I mean, the CIA is built for this. They do these little thingy-majingies, we don't even notice. Just these little, whoop. $10 billion, poof, it just disappeared over into that pocket over there. And, some dictator dies a million miles away and some country changes its name. And, we make 10% extra on oil profits somewhere along the lines, but those days are being uncovered. Social media is here, the day of visual everything, no secrets, everybody can see and read your mind. All of these old people getting caught screwing off, messing up, all of these whistleblowers coming out. Social media has changed the world, creating what I would like to call a technovirus, some sort of influential bug that moves at 1,000,000 miles a minute and jumps from host to host to host to host. Something that we can't stop. You see, a lot of these woke problems, all of these different things, they would have been destroyed years ago if it wasn't for the internet. But no, social media is here, and nobody can get away with shit anymore, including our government. So we, the people, we, the auditors, we, the folks that put money in your pocket, put food on your tables, serve you, drive you, and pay your paychecks. We are awake, and we see the truth. You're all in bed with each other, whether you're big business, whether you're politicians, whether you're government officials. There is a corruption, a stink, a stench, a dirty, rotting, cancerous tumor at the heart, right in the gut, rotting away at all of our beloved institutions. They've all been corrupted from within, and it's time to cleanse the capitalism. I'm not saying destroy capitalism. I'm not a socialist. I'm a friggin' capitalist. I love capitalism, but our capitalism has gotten a little dirty after decades and decades of big government institutionalized profiteering. The industrial war complex, the industrial medical complex, the industrial pharmaceutical complex, the industrial fucking enslave the little guy, foot on their back, choker on their neck, and milk them for all their money till the day they die. Moo, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations. We've all become cattle. But folks, once upon a time, there was a little thing that came around, a virus per se, that may or may not have been created in a lab, and a tiny man in a coat who I would love to... Never mind. Listen, Dr. Fauci came one day and he said, there's a virus here, and you all need to put masks on, and you all need to go away, and you all need to become persecuted, and you all need to become silenced, and you all need to become enslaved, while I laugh in my New York City apartment or wherever the hell he lives. So COVID comes, and many of us, including myself, were sent home for a short period of time. Many of us were sent home for a very, very long time. But some of us were hit with so much crap from all different angles, it almost destroyed us. I'm one of those people. Now, something happened. Something happened to us in those moments. When the flash happened, I'd like to call it the flash. Some sort of something that shot a shockwave out amongst the population of this country and the population of the world, that opened our eyes, expanded our pupils, woke us up. We experienced the American Reveille. And so now we see it. We see the code on the wall like the Matrix. We see it everywhere, all around us. We smell it. We taste it. We breathe it in every day. And we know something's wrong. And we know how to tell when somebody's full of shit. We know how to tell when they're lying to us. We're awake. We see it. We're not stupid. Are you stupid? Ask yourself, are you dumb? Are you an idiot? They think you're an idiot. They think you're an asshole. They don't trust you with your money, with your children, with your health. They don't trust you to feed yourself. They don't trust you to wipe your own ass. So what a better thing than to create a society where they can wipe it for you. So in February 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, we all smelt a little bullshit. But you know, we gave it the benefit of the doubt. People are suffering. People are suffering. Of course people are suffering. And along comes a charismatic leader named Zelensky. So Russia invades the world. The world sympathizes with the images coming out, and many of us, including myself, through Telegram, through Twitter, through underground means, we're seeing the real on-the-ground pictures, the videos, hearing the real numbers, the casualties, the tens of thousands, the women, the children, the dead, the rotting stench of the dead. We saw it with our own eyes. We saw it through the media. The things that wouldn't be shown in the mainstream came to us through underground methods. We saw it. It was real. And we felt it, and we still feel it. But something doesn't add up. Money starts pouring in to Ukraine. Ukraine, one of the most corrupt countries in Europe. This is a fact. I'm not saying anything that should get us kicked off. I've been doing this for 2+ years. I promise you, I know how to not get kicked off by this point. I know it's one of the most corrupt countries there. It is the country that literally fired a prosecutor over the Hunter Biden scandal. Trust me, it's all coming out. You'll see. That's not this podcast episode, but you'll see, because charges are about to be filed against Hunter Biden. Foreign lobbying, tax evasion. Give it a couple weeks. You'll see. Maybe it's not as bad as it should be, but it'll start the process. All right, so money pours in. No questions asked. One of the most traditionally corrupt countries in the entire world. All right. U.S. aid pours in. $54 billion of aid pours in right now while we're experiencing one of the worst inflations in over 40, 50, 60 years, maybe even 100 years in the United States of America. People are starving. People are hungry. How many people are out of work? I get 100 emails a day from people begging me for a job while I'm trying to get investment into our company here. While I'm trying to find money to pay those people. I want to provide them livelihoods. I can't provide them livelihoods because of Joe Biden's damn economy. And many of you feel the same way. Many of you are in the same situation. And meanwhile, Brandon and the rest of the Democrats, they go, and they send out $54 billion in aid. 54 billion. So where does it go? We have missile systems, special forces. I was looking at a chart earlier and it said something to the amount of like 8 billion of this goes to US deployments and special forces. 8 billion of the 54 billion. How many Navy SEALs are over there? How much money in special forces are we wasting in Ukraine right now? I mean, are we at least rescuing people? We don't have any numbers, any stats. We don't know. We have no damn idea, and we're paying for it. We're paying for it. Our elected politicians are pawns. They have no term limits, no accountability, nothing. They are controlled by the mainstream media, the whims of social media, and the paychecks of woke organizations around the world. You know it and I know it. The left uses woke business to manipulate the feelings of the left. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. Because part of my business plan, part of the thing I'm building right now, the right. We now take on the task. We now inject our feelings into the game. We now take on the causes that we feel are righteous. And we stand in the ring and fight mano a mano. We duke it out in the corporate space until we destroy this disgusting woke corporate culture. This culture that's supporting a war that we're paying for, that are literally putting children in the street in the United States of America. Now, I'm not saying I had anything against this war. I'm not saying that I want this war to happen, but I'm not saying that we shouldn't help women and children that are dying over there. But what is happening? Where is the money going? Where is accountability? I don't see any. And it gets so much worse. So $54 billion. $54 billion. Where does it go? Death. It goes to death. I'm a veteran. I'm not a combat veteran, but I'm a veteran, and I know it goes to death. So if it goes to death, who's paying for this again? We are paying for this. We are paying for the lives of civilians, innocent women and children. And you say, well, James, maybe it's not that many. Maybe it's not that many. Well, guess what we're about to do? We're going to go to the mini screen down here, okay? Right down there. We're going to go to the mini screen and we're going to take a look at the actual casualties for this war so far. Many people don't talk about it because they don't put it on the news, they don't publish them, they don't do anything. But we can go online right now and I can show you. So stand by for camera 2. All right, honey, I shrunk the vid. Here we are, camera 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, American Reveille podcast. So take a look on your screen right here. All right. And if you're listening, I'm going to go over it. Don't worry. But if you're watching right now, take a look at your screen and let's go down the breakdown for the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine. All right. This is the total casualty breakdown. And let's start with civilians. We asked the question, how much death are we funding? All right. How much death? The lives of women and children. Look at your babies. Look at your men and women, your husbands, your wives, your 4-year-olds, your 6-year-olds, your grandmas, your grandpas. Look at them in the face. Casualties. All right. So this is reported by the Ukrainian government. 12,000 to 28,381 killed. All right. That's the equivalent of a meteor hitting a baseball game, like the World Series, one of those kind of games, and literally killing every single person there. All right. That's literally like a pro wrestling event like WWE Monday Night Raw. All right. The building lights on fire. Every single person dies. They're all dead. Everybody's dead inside the arena. That's 12 to 28,000 people. It's a lot of people. All right. You haven't seen numbers like this for decades, maybe not even since World War II, in single battles, single levels of combat, okay? The United Nations, who, keep in mind, all right, sway to the left and have not been allowed in there, all right, they're looking at 5,327 killed, 7,257 wounded. These are all estimates. It's going to end up being a lot more. Remember, Russia is shelling these cities, just killing indiscriminately men, women, and children, and telling their own media that they're not. All right. Now, when we look at Ukrainian forces, all right, the Russian government is reporting 23,367 dead. These are fighting men. All right. Men with wives, men with children, your sons. All right. Your sons, your fathers, your sons, your fathers, your uncles, your brothers. All right. U.S. is estimating the real number is between 5,500 and 11,000 killed, 18,000 wounded. All right. And the Ukrainian government, that's Zelensky's government, 10,000 killed, 30,000 wounded, 7,200 missing. All right. 5,600 captured. These are big, wide-ranging numbers. In the end, I fear we're going to find out that hundreds of thousands died. It's going to be disgusting and horrible, and we're all going to be sick to our stomach. All right, we're in a fourth turning right now, folks. The fourth turning of history. History is cyclic. We were in a fourth turning during the revolution. We were in a fourth turning during the Civil War. We were in a fourth turning during World War II, and we're in a fourth turning right now. And if you don't know what that is, ask me to do a video about it, or go look it up. The turnings of history. So the Ukrainians have killed 15,000 of the Russian and allied forces, all right? 15,000. Wounded 4,500. That is the US and UK and Estonian estimate. The US alone is estimating, through our alphabet agencies, of course, 7,500 killed and wounded. And the Ukrainian government is saying they've killed 40,830. I don't know why the US is beefing it up when they're not there, and the Ukrainians are saying it's 40,000, but we will see what it ends up being. It could all be part of propaganda, and you know all sides of propaganda. The US does propaganda, Russia does propaganda, everybody does propaganda, so nobody's defending anybody here. Russian forces, all right, the casualties from the Russian forces, just by the BBC, predicted by the BBC, 5,185. Predicted by Important Stories, 4,964 killed. And that's confirmed deaths by name. But remember, all right? BBC, Germany, different places. BBC being the United Kingdom. Russia supplies oil to a lot of these places. It pays for the United Kingdom. It pays for Germany. It pays for France. It pays for Europe to be kind when they talk about Russia. All right? The Donetsk forces and the Luhansk forces, Donetsk region, 2,447 killed, 10,289 wounded. These are like militia type people that you saw in the movie The Patriot. Same in Luhansk, 500 to 600. And I apologize if I mispronounce those. I'm not from the Ukraine. All right, we've went over the casualties. It's a lot of numbers. You and I, ladies and gentlemen, my friends, my companions, my fellow QuoBreakers, you and I are paying for the death of every single man, woman, and child. Back to camera one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to camera one. James Lane here. Do me a favor before we continue this podcast. My good friends over at the Constitutional Party of the United States, the only constitutional super PAC, the only legitimate, fully licensed, fully everything that they're supposed to do by law in the United States to be a super PAC and represent the United States of America, the U.S. Constitution. Legitimately, they are the only organization. CPOTUS.org, the Constitutional Party of the United States. They are my good friends down in Tampa, Florida. They're throwing a hell of an awesome fundraiser poker event down at the OCC Roadhouse and Museum. That's right, Orange County Choppers. I put together a little advertisement for it. If you know anybody in the Tampa area or have the means to push it for us, please do so. So just give me 45 seconds of your time and watch this ad. Ladies and gentlemen, Sunday, August 14th at 5 p.m., come join the Constitutional Party of the United States at the world-famous Orange County Choppers Roadhouse and Museum in sunny St. Petersburg, Florida, for their first ever poker fundraiser. For only $250, you can buy yourself a seat to win the grand prize AR-15. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the winner gets a gun. Come help preserve, protect, and restore the constitutional rights of our people. Eat, play, and have fun, all while supporting the U.S. Constitution. For more information, visit cpotus.org or call 813-531-2423. That's cpotus.org, 813-531-2423. So, we're back, all right? And we were right at the part where we're talking about Zelenskyy being worth 596 million. I was going to correct myself, a billion, but it's just million. It's enough. Don't worry. $596 million. Meanwhile, we, the starving, inflationary, crushed. We're being crushed by this inflation, the gas prices, everything. And don't you dare for 1 second tell me the gas prices got better. That's a dirty trick by Biden from releasing some of the strategic storage of oil and natural gas. Don't worry. Give it a couple months. Get past the election or whatever. Everything's going to go back to hell. I promise you. It's all a trick for the weak and simple-minded. Okay, but we're on 596 million. All right, one man, Zelenskyy, $596 million. Zelenskyy, where you get that money from, Zelenskyy? Even if it's his own money, he has $596 million. We're sending $54 billion off the back of the broken and forgotten, silenced and shut down American people. And you're damn right, I'm pissed off about that. And what is going on? What's going on? It seems he's asking China to help him. He is going to Xi Jinping and he's saying, "Hey guy, do me a favor, guy. Could you come over? Come over here to the Ukraine, guy, and help me rebuild I know you're the best friends of the people that are killing our civilians, our men, women, and children, but come over here and hook us up. Something doesn't seem right about this. It makes me feel like I'm being played. So in order to understand this better, we have to circle back to this in a couple seconds, and we have to take a look at Taiwan. All right, we have to take a look at Taiwan. So let's make a couple statements here. Let's say a few things out loud. Let's talk about it, and let's come to a couple conclusions, all right? One China policy says Taiwan is a part of China. So the other day when Pelosi showed up there, that's actually a really, really big deal. That's a really big deal. She's third in line to the throne. As much as we hate looking at the crypt keeper there, all right? She's third in line to the throne. We're really screwed. Like if a comet just like hit the White House. I mean, I don't know. I just, look. Pelosi showing up's a really big deal. All right? It literally could be considered an act of war. And they're kind of acting like it might be considered that, though it seems like we may have called their bluff at this point. But then again, I don't trust what's going on, especially the seemingly coordinated moves in Ukraine and Taiwan and the encircling forces. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on that leads me to believe something may happen much sooner than later. And my brain is very strategic and very, very correct. I promise you. I promise you. So what happened? She showed up in Taiwan. All right. It was very interesting watching the tracking footage when 300,000 people knew she was sneaking in on like what looked like a cargo plane or whatever in the middle of the night. So they already know where she is. So what's China do before that? They threatened to shoot her down. When did you ever hear that? Young or old? Answer me. Tell me. Ask yourself. Say it out loud. When did China ever threaten to shoot down anybody in our government? They did. They said that they would. All right. So they threatened to shoot her down. They put tanks and ships off the coast of Taiwan. In response, we put a bunch of destroyers, a destroyer fleet. All right, I was on a cruiser, but these are destroyers. They put them off the eastern coast of Taiwan to say, hey, F you. All right. And then what does China do? They start launching missiles into the Taiwan Strait. Missiles near our ships, near our forces, near the third in command, love her or hate her. Most of us hate her. And by the way, that TikTok was hilarious. Hey, China, if anything happens to this woman, we didn't see anything. That was I laughed for, if you haven't seen that, go on YouTube Shorts, go on my Facebook Reels, look at our TikTok. We have to reach patriots everywhere, so don't judge me. I'm a company. I have to be on every platform, okay? If you look at me and go, meh, you're not with the cause, you're on TikTok, Chinese, blah, blah, blah. I have to reach patriots everywhere. If you don't understand that, and you don't understand that it takes building a large company that influences culture to fight the left, then you're not actually for the cause. So fuck off, as we used to say in the 90s. I hope a couple of you got that reference and had a laugh. Look, we are at the verge in a fourth turning in history, on the verge of World War III. We're already fighting a proxy war with Russia through Ukraine. You want to know how I know? You want to know how I know we're being lied to? You want to know how I know the wool's being pulled over our eyes? How I know that it's quite possible we're not getting all the facts? And YouTube, don't pull this video. Don't give me a violation. I've worked really hard not to get those. We've been here for 2 friggin' years. So don't screw with me, YouTube, because I'm telling you right now, we are saying these are all hypotheticals. These are all things I'm putting together, things that the evidence seems to show, but they're hypotheticals. People, come to your own conclusions. I'm not telling you what's actually happening. This ain't the news. This is American Reveille. We're the QuoBreakers. We are entertainment. This is conservative TMZ. So don't ban me, YouTube. Don't ban me. All right? You want to hear how screwed up this is? We are on the verge of the possible invasion of Taiwan. By who? China, as the president used to say. Who's allied with China? Russia. Who invaded Ukraine? Russia. Who is allied with China? Okay? Who? All right? Who are we? We're the US taxpayer, right? we're funding Ukraine. All right, Ukraine, who was invaded by Russia, China's ally. All right, you're still following me? All right, right. Here we are. We, the U.S. taxpayer, gave them $54 billion while we drown in inflation, all right, while we suffer, while we try to work, while we do everything we can to survive as prices go up and up and up and living conditions get worse and worse and worse. And the left looks down at us like the condescending little shits they are and goes, good, suffer, you oil guzzling fascist industrialists. We are the fairy people of the world. We do believe in a God. See, they lie to us. They like to think that we don't know. But I know they do worship a god. They worship Gaia. They're pagans. They worship the earth, which is why their religious cult ideology revolves around it. Plain and simple. But that's an episode for another day. If you want to see that episode, if you really do, leave a comment below and request it. All right? Request it. But while we drown in inflation and the president of the Ukraine, worth $596 million, whose war we're funding on the cover of Vogue magazine, whose war we're funding while he's on the cover of Vogue magazine, whose war we're funding while he's on the cover of Vogue magazine, Woosah is requesting our enemy and their enemy's main ally, China, who, if you remember, I just told you, threatened to shoot down our third in command, is shooting missiles into the Taiwan Strait, is screaming rhetoric, is putting sanctions out, is damning us, is threatening World War III. Zelensky calls him up and goes, hey guys, Xi Jinping. And Xi Jinping goes, hey, what do you want from me? And he goes, yeah, come over here to Ukraine, guy. I'm sure we can work something out. We're a corrupt country. Come on over here and rebuild us and fund us. Fix our streets, fix our bridges, give us money, give us bread. Fuck the US, leave them for dead. Meanwhile, $54 billion right down the shitter. So again, let me ask you, doesn't it feel like we're being played? Well, let me know in the comment section below. Look, as a US taxpayer who's funding this war, all right, I have a couple feelings. Yep, I'm a conservative, I'm on the right, but we have feelings too, lefties. We really do. Feelings, we have them, okay? So as a taxpayer, funding the death of men, women, and children, tens of thousands of men, women, and children, all right, I feel like I'm being played. All right, I feel like everybody's in bed with each other. Doesn't it feel like? Doesn't it feel like Zelensky's playing with us, playing with them? Doesn't it feel like they're playing with each other? Doesn't it feel? It feels like a big circle jerk. It feels like all the companies are in bed with each other. Look, Disney in the Middle East, they will not promote LGBT. They don't even mention it. There's articles. Go to Breitbart.com. There's articles right now. You can look them up. There are articles that have factual, documented evidence that Disney literally puts out anti-LGBT messaging in line with Middle Eastern policy in the Middle East. And here supports LGBT groups and policies, okay? This is a true fact of life. This is something that happens, all right? I'm a veteran. If you go to McDonald's or some other company in one state where the state is blue, it's very possible when you go to the drive-thru and say, hey, do you have a military discount? They're going to say, no, fuck off. Every red state will give me a military discount at like Taco Bell. Okay, guys? These companies do what's best for business in each individual state, because the way our country's built is each individual state is like its own little individual country. People need to wake up and start learning some of these social sciences, learning geography, learning politics, learning how this works. We're in a republic, all right? We're in a constitutional republic, a knit and tied together stitch patchwork of small little countries known as states with their own constitutions, their own courts, their own senators and Congress people, everything, just like the big federal government. All right, so governments in each state, and companies in each state can do different things everywhere. And it happens here and it happens all over the world. Now, what happens here is supposed to be a proper procedure that's noted in our Constitution and followed by our states. What's happening in other countries, all right, is companies and influencers and governments are playing backdoor Sally with a bunch of corrupt motherfuckers. They're going and saying, hey, we'll deal with you. We'll deal with this. Back in World War II, look at some of the big companies like GE and some of these other brands that were dealing with the Nazis and dealing with the US government, giving us products, helping the Allies and helping the people that were murdering 6 million Jews. This is not something new. It's happened throughout history. How can I make the most profit and benefit from all sides of the coin? But you know who gets screwed then, and who's getting screwed now, and who throughout history, from the time we were peasants, from the time we were serfs, from the time we were slaves, and I can say that I'm a Jew, I can fucking say that. Don't you dare tell me I can't. From the time we were slaves, from the time that we were under the foot of kings and queens and rulers and warlords and cave lords and whoever the fuck else, everybody who's always throughout history gotten fucked is the little guy. You and me, and now is no different. They are fucking us again. Don't look over here, guys. Well, we're putting all these billions of dollars in our fucking pockets and ensuring that our children's will subjugate your children's for the rest of history. That's what they're doing. All of this infighting, black, white, all of this stuff where they're saying BLM, Black Lives Matter, and all lives matter, and this, that, and we're pitted against each other and everything, and we were slaves and we weren't slaves, and da-da-da. We've all been slaves for thousands of years. To them, to the elites, to the ruling class. All right? I am a capitalist. I am a modern conservative, but it's about fucking time you wake up, you take a look in the mirror, and you ask yourself if this truly is the free country you're being sold. Because I have never seen it, and I want to. God, I want it bad. I can taste it. And through this company, through what we're doing, through everything we're trying to influence here, we will take it back. We'll do it the right way. We'll do it with influence. The same way the left got us into this mess, we will take us out. We will lead us to the promised land, because we, the entire composium of the right, not just conservatives, not just the MAGA people, not just the Republicans, not just the young, not just the old, not just the libertarians, and shut the fuck up, you're part of us too. The Democrats and the liberals don't like libertarians. They want war. They don't want to be left alone. Okay, so libertarians, I'm sorry, you're over here with your toe, okay? Look, all of us have petty disagreements. All of us have these little issues with each other, but none of them are as big as the issues we're facing against the left. So it's time we put our petty differences aside, all right? I don't believe in abortion. Somebody else believes in 4 weeks. Somebody else believes in 12, whatever. We can figure that out. Remember, our morals, our core values, our belief in God is the same. Theirs is not. They don't have that. We have to be together on this, and we are, and we will be. The game is rigged. The game is rigged, and until we wake up and realize that, we will never be free. We have no control right now, so it's time to take it back, and it's time to pack up shop and bring everybody home, because we're all being taken advantage of, and we're paying for the entire problems all around the world that are being created by the left. We see the World Economic Forum. We see you, Great Reset people, elites trying to shape history. We see you. But the money, it's not coming from you. It's coming from us. So look, I've been waiting to announce this for a while, but I think now is a very, very good time. So I'm about to tell you what's going to happen to American Reveille in the coming weeks and months. I'm about to reveal to you this plan, this thing that I've been promising for a very, very long time. Okay? this code that I've needed to crack, this Rubik's Cube that I've needed to solve to figure out how to get our voice heard, how to get the people's voice into every single home across America and eventually across the entire globe. So folks, we've been in this fight together for a very long time. And you've seen me here. You've seen me persevere. Everything with American Reveille, I do. All right? I do the art. I put the articles out. All right? I edit. I publish. I do the podcast. I do the graphics. I do the editing on the podcast. I build all of the business connections. I go to the meetings. Every single thing I've had to do myself. I've come across dozens and dozens and dozens of people that have wanted to help, and everybody has flaked out. I have a core group of wonderful writers. All right, wonderful writers that have stuck with me since the beginning, and I'm not talking about you. All right, if you're in my company and you're working with me and you know me, you know I'm not talking about you. But I'm talking about the things that I've had to do, all right? The hours of sleep I've lost. I have a day job, folks. I work 60 hours a week, and then I do American Reveille 80 hours a week, and I see my family as much as I can. I've skipped so many dinners. I've almost died from this. I've been in the hospital dozens of times from this. I do everything. I've kept this machine running, and it's about time that we become huge. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the trendsetters. We're the bar raisers. We're the agitators of this country. We're the disruptors of the world. We are the QuoBreakers, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, American Reveille LLC in the next coming weeks and months is going to move forward as follows. American Reveille LLC will become a parent company. All right, it will become a parent company to the brand new QuoBREAK LLC. That's QuoBREAK LLC. And it's okay, I say it, I've already bought everything. QuoBREAK, QuoBREAK LLC. And all of American Reveille's editorial and entertainment-based content, including the website, will be rebranded accordingly. And this will position us to move into the entertainment media space as a massive, new, modern, conservative TMZ. All right? We're going to be raising a $100,000 initial investment. We're going to be implementing my developed secret system to bring QuoBREAK into every single home across America. We're going to be building this infrastructure, which will break down into $35,000, with another $35,000 to introduce and advertise QuoBREAK to millions and millions and millions of like-minded, silenced Americans across this country. We've developed a system, ladies and gentlemen, to give millions of us across this country a home, an identity, and a way to make money. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Every single person that reads and listens and watches and participates in QuoBREAK, every QuoBREAKer will have the opportunity to participate, to make money. I have figured this out. So you, ladies and gentlemen, you, the forgotten voices of this country, will all be QuoBREAKers. And you will never, ever be silenced again. Not if I have any fucking thing to do about it. And that's all I've got to say. I'll see you next week.